And we are live. Welcome, mystery and thriller fans. I'm your on-air host, Sara DiVello, and I am so excited to welcome the incredible triple nominated in 2022 Gigi Pandian here to give us the inside scoop on her latest Under Lock and Skeleton Key. Gigi, welcome to Mystery and Thriller Mavens. Tell us about this book.
Thank you so much for having me, Sarah. And hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. Under Lock and Skeleton Key is the first book in my new Secret Staircase mystery series. And I'm so excited about this book because I am such a huge fan of locked room mysteries, those traditional impossible crime stories that were super popular during the golden age of detective fiction. And I've always been such a huge fan of those. So I've written so many short stories with them and a subplot in a novel. But in Under Lock and Skeleton Key, it's the first time that I've really felt good about creating a locked room mystery puzzle as the central element of the book. So the little teaser tagline for the book is an impossible crime, a family legacy, the intrigue of hidden rooms and secret staircases. So that's the super quick teaser, but I'll do another 30 seconds just to explain the setup. So Tempest Raj is a famous stage illusionist who is on top of the world until the book opens, when her career has just crashed and burned. Her show has been sabotaged. So she's back at 26 years old, living in her childhood bedroom and working for the family business, Secret Staircase Construction. And they're no ordinary home renovation company. They build magic into people's homes through things like secret rooms, sliding bookcases, and all sorts of fun little architectural misdirection, things like that. But trouble follows her home, and her stage double is found dead inside a wall on the project that she's working on for her dad's company. But it's a wall that's been sealed for nearly a century. So it is an impossible crime. So she has to figure out, was she the intended victim? Has the Raj family curse followed her from India to Scotland and now to California? Or what on earth is going on?
Ooh, well, I like secret staircases. I like hidden secret walls. I like all of these things. I love locked room mysteries. I love all mysteries. And so I am here for it. And Gigi, I can't wait to get in every tasty detail, including the gorgeous cover. So much to talk about. But first, I just want to welcome everyone who's watching. We are broadcasting live to 6 different destinations on Facebook and YouTube. We're everywhere. So no matter where you're watching from, you're in the right time. This is the right place. It is Mystery Monday, and we are so happy you're here because Mondays can be murder. If you've been here before, you know the drill. Every Monday, I give you my hand-picked featured authors, and you get to ask them anything. So ask Gigi about her 3 nominations most recently, and Anthony, I want the scoop. I know y'all do too, about her. What does she love about locked room mysteries? We need to know. Anything you're wondering, get it going in the comments, and I'll get them right over to us. If you're watching from a private Facebook group, you can stay mysterious and not tell us who you are. That's very on brand. Someone's giving us the key and lock emojis, 2 of my favorites. Loving this. So Gigi, let's start with your fascination with locked room mysteries. Where's this come from? What do you love about them?
So I have been a huge fan of mysteries ever since I was a little kid. I grew up in, I'm very, very lucky. I grew up in a house that was filled with books. My parents were both professors before retiring, and my mom loves fiction of all kinds, especially science fiction and mystery fiction. So there was just books, bookshelves everywhere. And it was always the mysteries that I gravitated towards ever since I was little. And to me, a locked room mystery is the ultimate puzzle, because not only are you trying to figure out who done it, but it's actually how done it. Because in the classic definition of locked room mystery, it is an impossible crime, something that seems like it's truly impossible, that it has to have been committed by supernatural means. It looks like nobody could have done it. So it's not even like which suspect did it, but how on earth did someone do it? And then you need to prove who it was. So they're just such a fun puzzle. So it adds this whole additional mysterious layer to mysteries. So it just makes mysteries even more fun than they already are.
Oh, I love how you boiled that down to them, because when we see this in certainly Agatha Christie, but Ruth Ware. I'm trying to think of the most recent ones I've done. Allie Reynolds. I mean, so many. People. Someone I interviewed recently said, "I always wanted to try my hand at it." It's kind of like, can I take this mystery challenge on? And I love them too, but I never could really put my finger on what I loved about them. So I think you honed in on it. It's this impossible situation, so that makes it even tastier. Melissa, welcome to the conversation. She's saying, good day, Sara and Gigi. This book sounds fascinating and very different. Melissa joining us live from Australia. Melissa, welcome to the conversation.
Hi.
Yeah, so Gigi, when you wanted to write, how were you drawn to the challenge of writing a book that was different? And what did taking on that challenge look like for you?
So I have been a published author for 10 years now. This is my 10-year anniversary of having books out in the world. And I feel like the publishing world is such a wonderful but strange business because there are different things that like capture the public's imagination at different times. And I've always loved this genre and what I've been writing for, and I was writing seriously for about 5 years before I got published as well. And so I've always been trying to write the things that I love and get better at them too. But the things that I was interested in at the time were not always very popular. And so I'm so thrilled that I had such the wonderful support by my team at Minotaur Books to take a chance on this book, and that it really is finding readers now. And so it's so exciting that I feel like I'm a good enough writer to pull off this book now, and that it is something that people are responding to. So that's really gratifying.
I love that. Now, what changes have you specifically seen evolving? What made you feel like the market was ready for this now? And because I know I'm seeing a resurgence and a real interest ramping up in the world of cozies, and I'm also seeing a real interest and demand for characters of color and authors of color, heroines of color. What changes are you seeing?
So it's actually, I would definitely just expand on those two exact things. That I feel like there is technology now is allowing for so many books that from about 100 years ago in the golden age of detective fiction, when things were traditional mysteries, which has a big overlap with cozy, but isn't exactly cozy. And we could debate about this for 10 hours. So I'm not going to go into the weeds of that, but there are lots of overlapping things. And traditional mysteries, when they're not thrillers, they're kind of slower paced, but really fun puzzles they're considered fair play mysteries because all the clues are there. So you can follow along with the detective, often an amateur sleuth, not always, but they're really fun mysteries. So because of technology allowing things to be back in print that were out of print for so long, there's so many fantastic books that have been forgotten about in the traditional mystery genre that now that they're out there, readers are getting to discover these great things and seeing, wow, this is a great genre. So people are reading more things and also more books in translation lately. There's so many fantastic Japanese locked room mysteries that are in English for the first time now. So there are so many things like that are allowing readers to find what a great subgenre this is. And then also, even when I grew up reading mysteries as a kid, I didn't really see characters reflecting people who looked like me and my family. My dad is from India, and we have a multicultural family. And so I didn't realize what I was missing at the time. But when I started writing mysteries, it was a given that I would write characters who looked like me and the people in my life because that was my lived experience. But I didn't want to write about that. I wanted to write fun, cozy adventure, puzzle plot mysteries, the things that I like to read, but just with characters that represented, my life and the world around me. And so that was also, even when I started writing, it was really hard to find. There were some authors that were published doing that, but it wasn't nearly as many as there are now. And so now that there are more authors of color being published, there's so many great books. And so readers are able to find them. And I feel like mystery readers, we don't just want to read our own experience. We want to read widely. I feel like mystery readers, yes, we read so voraciously. So we want different mystery subgenres and characters who do have different backgrounds. So it's so great to see so much diversity in the types of mysteries and in the characters that are in them. So it's just a wonderful time to be a mystery writer and a mystery reader.
Yes, exactly. Because I mean, the chance to see the world through someone else's eyes, to walk in their shoes as much as possible through the view of being in their pages is the most wonderful and valuable and illuminating experience. And I love that. Let me get a chance to to be in those shoes. I mean, that's such a beautiful experience. I love that. I love that. Polly, welcome to the conversation. She said, Gigi, your book is wonderful.
Oh, thank you so much, Polly.
Yay. Laurel, welcome to the conversation. She said, this book sounds so interesting.
Thank
Um,
you.
Laurel is an amazing fashion blogger. I happen to know. I follow her on Instagram. Laurel, thank you so much for joining us. So if you love fashion and architecture as much as I do, here's her link. Everybody go follow her. She has just the best style. And she's a voracious mystery reader. So Laurel, what a pleasure to see you pop up here. Thank you so much for joining us. Melissa saying that when you read books about people that are different than yourself, you get educated more that way too. Absolutely, Melissa. That's such a great point. And Gigi's book is earning incredible praise. So let's just dive into some of it. So Brit and Co. raving this thrilling murder mystery is full of twists, turns, stunt doubles, and secret staircases. She knows saying mind-blowing architecture and failed magic tricks set the stage for Gigi Pandian's latest addictive read. This thrilling mystery novel is full of twists and turns. You never know what piece of the mystery will unfold behind each hidden wall. So are you an architecture fan, Gigi?
That was one of the things that I thought I might, when I was young, I thought I might become an architect. I didn't end up going down that path, but I've always loved, I was not the kid who played with dolls. I was the kid who built houses everywhere. So, I had all of the different blocks and I did drafting classes and built all of the things. So this was a way that I got to live vicariously through my characters because my own life didn't go that direction, but I have such an interest in it that I could pick the most fun parts to put into this book in the series.
Well, how cool is it that you found another way to embrace and enjoy and express your love of architecture without actually being an architect? That's so cool. I absolutely love that. Crime Reads has dubbed you the reigning queen of locked room mysteries. For those who have been waiting for the perfect fictional family to take the place of Lisa Lutz's The Spellmans, look no further. So high praise there from Crime Reads, dubbing you the queen of locked room mysteries. Congratulations, Gigi. This was also a most anticipated read by Pop Sugar, Crime Reads, Goodreads, Bookish, Book Riot, BookPage, and I could go on and on. So, Gigi, let me ask you: when you saw all of this, all of this amazing praise that you have earned, you see it starting to resonate with reviewers, resonate with readers, with bookstagrammers. Were you like, at last I am seen, or were you kind of surprised?
Both. I mean, it's so this book, I am so proud of this book, but it's also when you put a book out there, I mean, that you don't know like how, because when a book leaves your hands and goes out into the world, everybody reads a different book. And so what you put into it is completely somebody else's, it is the reader's experience. And so I didn't know exactly because I was writing the book of my heart and that I wanted to write. And this book really took me, of all of the books that I've ever written, this was the book that took me the longest to write. I started working on it. 10 years ago, I had an unexpected breast cancer diagnosis in my 30s, no family history. It was wild. I had a year of cancer treatments ahead of me. And it was that, turned my life upside down. That's when I wrote my Accidental Alchemist mystery series, the first book in that series, my fantasy mystery series, which I never thought I would write a fantasy mystery series, but that was what poured out of me when I was going through chemotherapy. And so I let myself, that experience really was what made me think I am just going to write for myself. I'm not going to try to navigate publishing. I'm going to write books that I'm passionate about and, let the chips fall where they may. And so I started my Accidental Alchemist series then, But I also had this other idea for the book that became Under Lock and Skeleton Key, but I wasn't yet ready to write that one. But so after my writers group was one of the things that really got me through my year of cancer treatments. They were such phenomenal women. They totally stepped up, and my family was fantastic, but they also, like, that group of friends, like, they're the ones who took me wig shopping and picked out my mystery writerly wig, which had this amazing red streak that I never would have picked out for myself. But they were amazing. So I promised them, when I get through this, I'm going to take us all on a writing retreat to go to Edinburgh, Scotland. So I ended up renting out a flat in Edinburgh, and, half of them ended up coming. We had a marvelous self-directed writing retreat. And that's when I really started working on this book. But that was many years ago. But I had other writing obligations and other things I was working on. And I still didn't know what I was doing with this book. And so I just worked on it in fits and starts over the years. And then I finally, at the start of the pandemic, was when the book actually came together, because earlier I was trying to it was like this book that went all around it was set partly in Scotland, partly in India, partly in California. And I had way too much going on that I was trying to throw all into one book. And when the pandemic happened and I was just going for walks in the hills right above my house in Northern California, I really realized my whole life is right here. And there are so many magical elements here too, that when Tempest Under Lock and Skeleton Key wasn't previously set in a fictional small town in Northern California. The book is set in Hidden Creek, California, which is in a fictional small town, very loosely based on, it's a more magical version of, where I live, but, all of these things here. But so once I found the heart of the story in this setting, and with Tempest with her family, rather than trying to have all these tentacles out around the world, there's still so much of that in the story, but you're following the adventure that's just there in the small town. It all came together. The heart of the story was there. So I could have the bigger story, but the heart of it was really Tempest and her family in this town figuring out what is going on here. And so the story finally came together, and I wrote in earnest. But after all of those years of fits and starts, it was finally ready to coalesce and come together. And that was one of the silver linings of this wild time.
Oh, I love that, Gigi. And it's just amazing to see, how much it is clicking and resonating and just blazing out into the world, earning this incredible praise, starred reviews from Publishers Weekly and BookPage. Congratulations
Thank you.
on that.
That was really exciting.
Yay! Kirkus raving non-stop enchantment. I mean, if Kirkus calls you enchanting, my God, like, I would be like, deliver my bonbons to the beach. I'm retired now. Deanna Rayborn raving with dazzling sleight of hand. Gigi Pandian launches an enchanting new series, which is a must read. Just absolutely incredible. Just going, I'm putting all of these in the comments so that everyone can read them at their leisure. So Gigi, let me ask you, celebrating your 10-year anniversary in publishing now, triple nominated, and having earned all of these starred reviews, what would you say, and I just posted one that said that Pandian is at the top of her game. What would you say you've learned along the past 10 years that allows you to be at the top of your game now? What are the hard-earned lessons?
The biggest lesson is really one that I learned really early in my publishing career, is that so much of this is beyond our control. Ooh. That all we can do is write the best books we can and have fun with that. And so, and we can't control so much of this, that I am going to write the books I want to write, not try to write what I think somebody wants to read, but that won't even work, because we're not as passionate about it then. At least I can't be. And so I need to put all of myself into writing the book that I am excited about writing, and not worry about things like, I read reviews on places like Goodreads for books that I'm considering buying, but I don't read my own reviews on things like that, because those are for readers. And so I'm so appreciative of readers. When you leave a review, it means so much to me. But those reviews are not for the author. They're for other readers. And so I'm a voracious mystery reader and I love reading people's reviews of things. But so I'm reading that, and yeah, and so it's not even that 5-star reviews are necessarily best, because I want to see what a book really is about. So reviews are amazing, but they are not for authors. They are for readers to figure things out. And so, and we can't control what readers think of our books. We can just write what we want to and not worry about things like that. So I'm trying to remember the lessons from cancer that are harder. It's harder and harder the further out I get from that experience. Normal things in life can start to creep in, and be like, oh, but that's so annoying. But you know what? I'm alive. I survived cancer. I should not worry about these silly things that do not matter. I should worry about the things that actually matter in life.
Ooh, I love that. I love that perspective. It's so true, and it's important to remember to have the self restraint. I'm talking to you, Sara DiVello, to not read those reviews.
It's hard.
Who said that? I don't know. So I want to. I'm just scrolling back here because I want to find Deanna's. I'm going to post it again. Actually, Deanna Rayburn's review just one more time here because someone actually commented on it. So I'm just going to grab it. Here it is. With dazzling sleight of hand, Gigi Pandian launches. Here it is, right here.
Launches. And that was such a meaningful endorsement to get, because she's one of my absolute favorite authors. So anyone out there, if you haven't read Deanna Rayburn, why haven't you? She's amazing. Go buy her books.
Yay. Margaret Pinard joining us live from Portland, Oregon, saying Deanna Rayburn gives the best blurbs. I absolutely love her. Margaret, welcome to the conversation. Thank you so much for tuning in. Always lovely to have you here. Readers gotta read. Hey girl, always a pleasure to have you. She's saying, I read a short preview of this book in a NetGalley sampler, and it really pulled me in. Congratulations on 10 years.
Thank you so much.
Yay. And I'm just going through it. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody's. Laurel saying such great life lessons tonight. Absolutely, Laurel. This is really resonating with me as well. Margaret would like to know: is your mother the poet of the carnivorous gaze by chance?
She is.
Wow. Margaret saying, I think I remember her mentioning your name like 10 years ago when you were just starting out. Okay.
Oh,
wow. Your mom is a poet? What's happening here?
She's a poet and an artist. So she was a professor for many, many years, and is also, I told you, I mentioned that, the house was filled with both nonfiction, but also fiction books. But yeah, so she loves writing poetry, and she's an amazing artist. I have so much of her art hanging in our living room as well. So yeah. I come from a very talented family.
Oh my goodness. And our talent yourself embodied. Absolutely. Wow. Margaret, thank you for
yes, thank you, Margaret.
Very cool. And so cool to know that your mom is not only a poet, but also an artist. Y'all, I want to remind you that this book is out. So grab your copy tonight from our favorite woman-owned bookstore, Murder by the Book. And I'm going to pop the link in the right here in the comments so that you can grab it.
And I think they have some signed book plates from me left as well. And if they don't, they can email me to get some more. I'm not sure if they have any left. I think they do, because I sent a whole bunch.
Yay. Which leads me into perhaps my very favorite review of all, and that is from the New York Times book review, who has deemed Gigi wildly entertaining. So if the New York Times says you're wildly entertaining, it must be so. Congratulations on that amazing bit of praise.
Thank you.
Gigi, 10 years in, what's the secret to being wildly entertaining? Entertain us.
So I am, okay, this is really terrible, but I am the worst at evaluating my own writing. Ooh. I am so lucky to have the world's greatest critique partners. Ooh. I have so many amazing writer friends in my life who we trade each other's work. And I can't, until I've set something aside and gotten other eyes on it, it's so hard to know, because I I pour my heart and my soul. And I think I've learned through osmosis from just being such a big mystery fan for my whole life that I love reading. But I really don't know. Like the book that I mentioned, The Accidental Alchemist, that I wrote during chemotherapy, I did not think I was writing that book for anybody else. I was writing that for me as therapy because I was going through chemotherapy. And so I wrote the story about an alchemist who had accidentally discovered the elixir of life because, hello, subconscious, that chemotherapy and the elixir of life and alchemy and all that. So I was really just, and I threw in a gargoyle because I love gargoyles. And so, but really that was just me entertaining myself and really not thinking it would be anything else. But then when I sent it to my agent, she loved it. And so I really am the worst judge of my own work, except for that I absolutely love this genre. And so I try really hard to write things that are just fun for me as a fan of this genre. But it really is my amazing critique partners who are the ones that can let me know when something, is a good idea. And when I have so many, I write on paper first before I move to the computer. So I have so many boxes that are filled with old notebooks of scribbles that they're not wasted words, but they're things that are never going to see the light of day at all because they're, I went down rabbit holes that were fun, but are not things that people actually want to read, but they were fun for me. And then they got me to where I am now by doing those scribbles.
Oh, I love that. Gigi, how did you meet your critique partner?
So I'm not in a critique group. I have really, it's just kind of trial and error that I have met different writers so I got my start 15 years ago was when I first started taking my writing seriously because I discovered National Novel Writing Month, that challenge to write a draft of a 50,000 word novel in a month. I, was just like a little writer hobbyist before then. But when I discovered NaNoWriMo, I actually got to the end of something. I was so excited. I had finished a traditional mystery. So I sent it off to the Malice Domestic Grants competition, which I don't even remember how I had heard of it because I didn't know any writers at the time, but I won their grant that year. And so part of it is that they pay for attending the conference. And so I met other mystery writers for the first time in my life. And so I finally felt like I had found my people and it was so wonderful. But so I started meeting writers then, and then I got involved with my local writers community in Northern California. And you see who are people that you connect with over time. So it's really been a group of people who I've built up over time that I'll know that if I have a reader who's really great with plotting, then I will send something that I've written to them to get advice on that. Or, and then they'll ask, give me something to read when they need help with something. And so I have various authors who will read something when I have something that I need help with, and then they'll give me something. So it's not a group of us, but it's more like individual, knowing when there's, people who I've clicked with in terms of our writing and feedback style. And so it's different people, and it's not even only within the mystery genre. One of my most trusted critique partners is a literary writer who I help her more with plotting in her books that I can come up with things that she wouldn't think of. And then she'll read a later version of my books to make sure that my language isn't too clunky. Because I'm so concerned about my characters and my plot that I'm like, language, whatever. I want it to be invisible so that you're swept up in the story. Yes. But she'll catch things that are like, this tripped me up. And she's totally right.
How fascinating that some of your people that you work with aren't in the genre. I love that because I have noticed, and I'm new to the mystery genre, but I've noticed that some literary writers seem to have a bit of a tude about mysteries. There's almost like, and I don't really understand what's going on because I love mysteries. Clearly, I've always loved mysteries, but I've noticed some people kind of think like they're not, I don't know, that literary, as though that's not a good thing. But I find them more devourable.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Margaret saying, as long as the CP reads the genre, they're great. As long as the critique partner reads the genre, they're great. She totally agrees. Okay, oh my goodness, we have 1 minute left, everybody. I think I get one more question in. So if anybody has one more question, I think we can squeeze it in. Meanwhile, Gigi, you're involved with the Crime Writers of Color initiative, right? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the Crime Writers of Color, it's a fantastic group, and you can go, if you're looking for more diverse fiction, mystery fiction, you can also go to the Crime Writers of Color website and find so many of our member books and things. But it's an informal group. It's not really formal. It's just a group of authors of color who write mystery fiction. And so it's just a way to connect, because even just a few years ago, the mystery fiction world wasn't especially diverse, and especially, if you go to things, so it's a way to find other folks and, help each other by asking questions of people who are more established than others. So it's just, it's a really great group, and everything is volunteer led. And so everything you'll see like on a website, and there's a podcast in there. So, thank you so much for putting up the link. Yes. So everything is just volunteers who are stepping up if you want to see something. So it's just a tremendous group, and it's great for everyone, because you can find so much diverse fiction there, which is sorted. If you're looking for like a certain subgenre of mystery or a certain type of protagonist, you can browse books there.
Yeah, you can. It is such a fabulous resource. So you can browse by the subgenre. I want cozies. I want psychological thrillers. I want, whatever, golden age. And then you can also browse by, exactly like Gigi said, the type of protagonist you'd like to read. So all the time I see people posting in book groups that I'm a member of, hey, like I'm looking to broaden my horizons. I want to start reading more broadly, more diversely. And I always send them to this website because it is such a fabulous resource. And you can also see what books are coming out. You can look for books that are already out. It is absolutely invaluable. Kelly Garrett is super involved. Walter Mosley, both of whom have been on the show, super involved. Amazing people are in there. So here it is. Margaret saying, yay for Crime Writers of Color. I've heard about them on BookTube. So glad to hear that more people are promoting the organization. Yes, Margaret, that's what we're all about. Readers Gotta Read say, I know Locked Room Mysteries and Escalaire, I hope I'm saying that right, are two different things, but have you been in an escape room and did you like it? Gigi.
Okay. I'm going to admit, I love escape rooms, but I'm the worst at them. I love creating the puzzles. I'm not okay, this is so funny. So my husband is the greatest guy. He lets me drag him to things like this, like when we're on vacation, and I'm like, oh, but there's an escape room here, so we have to go. And he's like, yeah, fine. But then he'll have fun, and he's the one who's great at solving it. And so he can't write fiction. Like I always joke, that he'll like write a book one day, because I've written all these books, and he's like so supportive and reads them all, but he can't write fiction or come up with mysteries like this, but he is the one who gets us out of the escape room. So I need him if I'm going to go to escape rooms, because they're such fun puzzles, but I can't do them in real life, only on paper.
Interesting. Readers Gotta Read. Thank you for the fabulous questions, so we can learn a little bit more about Gigi, the great escape room creator, but not actually escaper. The fascinating backstory here. Good to know. So Gigi, do you think maybe you're writing these books to try to help yourself escape should you ever be in that situation? Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. I see we are out of time, y'all. The book is out now. This quote, wildly entertaining, so says the New York Times Book Review. It is out now, so order your copy tonight from our favorite woman-owned bookstore, and you too can enjoy Under Lock and Skeleton Key. Readers Gotta Read, thank you for clapping for us. Thank you for all the hearts and love up on Facebook, you guys. And I will see you next week for a sizzling Memorial Day Mystery Monday. Definitely join us then, because Mondays can be murder. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you so much.